As the weekly draws to a close, let's face it, it wasn't good. We discussed the levels we needed to close over the night. Since we didn't receive that, it is possible that the market would exhibit somewhat more bearish price activity. We always concentrate on TA because of this. I am aware that many people dislike TA. Let's be honest here, but they don't think it matters at all. In this area, TA is essential. It's okay if you're simply holding and holding and holding if you're thinking long-term and don't give a damn about TA. You don't have to pay attention to it. However, I do believe that it is crucial to consider what may occur in the near future. In this manner, we want to prioritize entering on critical levels of support in order to optimize not only our earnings that are resting on the sidelines or stable coins, whatever the situation may be. In this manner, we might profitably sell those critical resistance levels. It doesn't really matter if you're not interested in making money or shopping for the lows. However, since it can help us avoid getting caught up in the storm, I do believe that we should concentrate on the strength shown on these charts. Today's market is a sea of red if we were to look at it. Many ancient coins are declining. XRP is down 3.8%, while HBAR is down 6.2%. The weekly is being sold off in all categories. Crypto has also had a really gloomy week. A couple of these outliers have been pumping. Although there will always be, the weekly HBAR shows that XRP is down 10.1% and 14.6%. Ether is at 4 nearly down 5% on the daily and 8.2% on the weekly, while Bitcoin is sitting around 175K, down 1.4% on the daily. Then XRP is down 3.8% to 10.1% on a weekly basis at 2,074 cents. This week has been difficult. The market is going through a difficult period, but it will pass just like all bear markets do. Zooming out on the annual total, we can see that it is currently 3.74 trillion. It appears that we are returning to retesting some of these pivotal lows and highs both from the beginning of the month and as far back as December of last year. We don't get this low, in my opinion. We'll most likely rebound from those December highs, in my opinion. At least that's what we're praying for. To find out if that occurs, we still need to concentrate on that. However, greed and fear are still around 39. The fact that this is, still dropping is encouraging. Believe that the market will experience some additional pain in order to get it down to levels similar to those seen in June. The market will be more bearish the lower this goes, but we will be more bullish because, as we have seen, more opportunities arise when there is more fear. So we will recover from those lows and see some very strong price action in the future. Therefore, rather than viewing the market negatively, I'm using this period as an opportunity. We're not topped out, in my opinion. We're not near the top, in my opinion, either. I believe that the demand for pumps will remain strong for at least 4 more months. However, when examining Bitcoin over the last 7 days, this is how the price activity appears. The weekly close was not bullish at all, which is why we are plummeting once more. We'll deal with that. Ethereum on the 7-day period after that? Not that awful, It's encouraging to see that we still have some higher lows. We'll have to wait and see if that holds true for XRP. We are moving off the 7-day on the monthly, and we are falling through the floor here. Additionally, we're descending below those lows from the start of the month. You can see, however, that we're likely to retest some of those highs on the annual. And I return all the way to December here. Additionally, I return here in May. Since we've already retested and broken through the May highs, if we're just looking at Bitcoin for a single year, that is. The May highs of XRP have not yet been retested. We don't follow Bitcoin, so if you're holding XRP, you're hoping that we held support up here or whatever. I realize that this isn't a very good thing to look at. However, this is most likely where XRP will start to move in the future. Because, once more, this weekly candle is quite bearish. As far back as the end of July and the start of August, we lost support. I'm currently examining a couple critical thresholds of major demand. We are therefore examining the highs from approximately the middle of the year as well as the highs from all the way back here to December. Thus, this is the demand area for XRP that I'm examining. The range is between 2.45 to 2.62. I do believe that this is the level of major interest where we are most likely to go next on the weekly. Remember once more that this is a 3-day weekend. Manipulation is going to be quite popular. Indeed, it will increase dread. After that, we must undoubtedly keep an eye on how equities open on Tuesday. Will it be bearish or bullish? We're not sure, are we? Then we looked at it. As that time draws nearer, we observe how the futures are moving and form some assumptions. However, the market is generally negative at the moment, Many individuals are becoming afraid of it. I've mentioned it numerous times already, over the past few days. Just take a break, okay? We'll return in a few weeks and the market will be back on top. So if you're feeling upset, terrified, anxious, or worried, take a break and take some time off. Therefore, time away is always important in this business. On the other hand, this is the weekly candle closure for Bitcoin. I am aware that this appears a little rough, but let me take a quick look and take everything out. The weekly closure of the candle was approximately 108.1K. I also mentioned that we may still see the lows of about 105.7K being run because we lost the highs of May, which indicated more bearish price activity. I would not be surprised. We may, however, go a little bit lower. Similar to XRP, I'm going all the way back here to the December highs. Thus, this level may be tapped for Bitcoin if we're looking at it, but it wouldn't significantly alter the notion that Bitcoin hovers in this blue zone and bounces out of it. So, if we get it, just be ready for that. It can be a big plunge to the bottom. There will be a great deal of panic once more. Liquidations are likely to occur as well. Everyone will become slightly more pessimistic. However, I do anticipate a significant reversal from this range down below. Just exercise caution here. Avoid making snap decisions while assuming positions. Avoid making purchases on the weekend. Await weekly price movement, particularly in the case of equities. However, this will not alter the market's perspective in any way. The market was unaffected by this. In terms of the old coin market, there are 3 in total. It is likely that we will continue to sell off into this trend line of approximately $900 billion. Compared to where we are trading now, this represents a total loss on the previous coin market about 3.5%, or about 3.7% in any part of that. Most likely it will be less than 4%. However, if we do wick below it, as we did back here in July, let's just say that we do wick below it, perhaps by about 6%. That's not a terrible loss really. The charts will undoubtedly be affected. Additionally, XRP selling off into these December highs and perhaps even the May highs would be consistent with it. You're all very welcome. Please join the free description below and follow me on Twitter. Having stated that, I want to thank everyone for watching. Goodbye.